Howdy y'all and welcome back to the channel. The Academy Awards are finally here and it is time for final predictions. It's one of my favorite days of the year. I've been anticipating this for so long. This ceremony is probably going to be more boring than ones we've had in the past, but that's okay. We're going to see people's lives changed and the culmination of a lot of careers. And today I'm going over who I think is going to win, not necessarily who I would like to win. Sometimes two are one and the same, but you know what I mean. We're going to start off with the supporting performances. For Best Supporting Actor, it's Robert Downey Jr. from Oppenheimer. He's won literally everywhere. He's going to bring home his Oscar, and I am so happy for him. It's such a great supporting performance, and you had a lot of people questioning if he still had the chops to be in a serious movie or even be Oscar-worthy, you know, after being Iron Man for like 12 years. Well, he's still got it, and he's going to bring home his first Academy Award. And along those same lines, Best Supporting Actress is going to go to Da'Vine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. She's won everything. It's the best performance in the bunch, and I'm happy to see her win as well. Pretty ho-hum to start here, so let's get to something a little bit more interesting. Best Animated Film. I actually think The Boy and the Heron's going to win this, you guys. I would give it to Spider-Verse myself, but I'm reading the tea leaves, and I just think they're going to award Miyazaki. I think it's been gaining a lot of traction. You know, he's in his 80s now. They may want to give him another Oscar. I don't know. I'm just getting that feeling that they're going to reward him. I'm going to predict that Best Documentary is going to go to 20 Days of Mariupol just because it is the odds-on winner right now. I personally haven't seen any of the movies in that category, so I don't have a dog in that fight. But I've seen that movie pop up in award ceremonies this entire award season, and I would expect it to win. Then Best Cinematography. It seems like it is Oppenheimer's award to lose at this point. It does have a lot of competition around it. You know, we can't count out Poor Things. Poor Things has excellent cinematography, but I do think at the end of the day, it's going to be going to Oppenheimer. Makeup and hairstyling was really hard for me. I'm going to go with Maestro simply because they did transform Bradley Cooper's face, and it's been the front runner this whole time. But I'm not fully convinced that Poor Things isn't going to win this because whenever I'm looking down my winners, I don't see a whole lot of Poor Things, and I think it's going to win more technical categories than we think. I think there's going to be some surprises in there. And makeup and hairstyling, it seems like Maestro should have it in the bag, but it's almost too easy, right? Like, they transformed Bradley Cooper's face, but Poor Things did a lot in its makeup and hairstyling, so I could easily see that upsetting, but I'm going to go with the safe choice and go with Maestro. Hopefully, I'm not kicking myself on Sunday. Costume design is another one similar to makeup and hairstyling that I actually want Poor Things to win this. I thought it had the most unique costume design of the year. I think that it deserves to win. But who do I think is going to win is probably Barbie. The way that they were able to adapt all the different designs from the toys, it's the odds-on winner right now. So I'm going to follow with that, but I want Poor Things to win. This is a case where if I'm wrong about this, I'm happy. I think it totally deserves it. Not to say that Barbie doesn't deserve Best Costume Design. It definitely had great costumes in the movie, but I just feel like Poor Things was more creative and unique. Barbie definitely had a template. Now, executing that template was very difficult. You know, if they win the Academy Award, they definitely deserve it. A bit of me wants to go for the creative out there choice with Poor Things, but I don't think that's how it's going to shake out. All right, international film is going to be The Zone of Interest. It's the only one in here that is also nominated for Best Picture, so it's an absolute shoo-in. It deserves to win. Anatomy of a Fall should be here as well, but it was not submitted by France to participate in this category. And one of you guys commented actually that it was due in part to some sort of like politics involved out there. I don't remember 100%, but it seems like there was some political reason why Anatomy of a Fall was not included in this, which I think is pretty dang stupid. But you know what? Zone of Interest is a remarkable movie as well. It totally deserves this. I just wish it was more of a battle leading up to awards night. All right, production design. I've talked a lot about Poor Things already in this video, and this is one that I actually think they're going to bring home. However, Barbie is the favorite right now. I'm going to go with the unique creativity that Poor Things had to offer with its production design. I think that it has enough there to edge out Barbie. It's going to be close, in my opinion. I really think it's going to be close because Barbie has a great argument to win this as well. I just think what they were able to accomplish on the production design of Poor Things is a feat in and of itself. It should absolutely be awarded, in my opinion. Now, Best Original Score is a slam dunk. It's gonna go to Ludwig Göransson for Oppenheimer. I mean, can you hear the music? That's the most iconic score of the last several years. Göransson really outdid himself here. He is a former Academy Award winner, and he's on pace to win his second with Oppenheimer before I think he's 40 or before he's 50. Either way, 2 Academy Awards before then, that's pretty dang impressive, and he totally deserves it. Oppenheimer's score is one that just had a huge impact on the movie experience as a whole, especially with the pacing of the movie. There were lots of times where the score just kind of seeped into scenes, and it wove everything up so well. It's truly astounding what he did. Totally deserving. Oppenheimer's going to win this. Best visual effects, I think, is going to go to the creator, and in large part because, one, the visual effects are absolutely incredible in this movie, but then also they did it on a limited budget. In a world where, movie budgets are skyrocketing, they're ballooning to ridiculous amounts. This movie was produced, I think, for $75 or $80 million, and it had, in my opinion, the best visual effects of the year. It looked super realistic. I could not tell when there were visual effects on scene. Absolutely incredible feat. I think it's going to win this. Now, the screenplay categories I think are very interesting. First, I'll talk about adapted screenplay. I personally think it's going to be American Fiction here. I know that's not the favorite right now. It's competing hard against Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Barbie, all of those guys. But American Fiction has been winning in this category. I think that it's a movie, unlike the others, where its script is probably the best part of the movie. And for me, in my review for American Fiction, I talked about the director and how his direction wasn't really that intriguing to me. But the script, the way that it was able to balance comedy and very serious themes is really magnificent, and I think that it would totally deserve to win this. I wouldn't be surprised if it lost to Oppenheimer or Poor Things or Barbie, one of those movies that are a real contender to win a ton of awards, and that are just beloved by audiences, because let's face it, a lot of people didn't see American Fiction. But I personally think that they're going to award Cord Jefferson his first Oscar here. But then for Best Original Screenplay, I personally think it's going to go to The Holdovers. I think Alexander Payne wins his first Oscar. I think it's his first one. Anatomy of a Fall definitely has a chance to win this. I believe it won the BAFTA or the Critics' Choice for Best Original Screenplay, one of those. So if Anatomy of a Fall won, I would be thrilled with that. I think it has an excellent screenplay. But The Holdovers, I think it's just one of those movies that everybody loves and can enjoy. It's one that I can see a lot of Academy members voting for, and it's with a writer that is well established in Hollywood that doesn't have an Oscar yet, I think. So I do think they're going to end up awarding that with the Best Original Screenplay Oscar. Best Sound, I think, is going to go to Zone of Interest. This is a really stacked category, but Zone of Interest is the only movie here that its sound really has a large impact on the themes of the movie as a whole. I mean, if you don't know the premise of Zone of Interest, the sound, just the lingering sounds that you hear in the background right next to this family living their life, they are an integral part of the movie. Without it, the movie is not the same, and it's the only movie in this category that I could say that for. If that doesn't win, I hope that Oppenheimer wins, but this should go to Zone of Interest. Best Original Song. I talked earlier about Ludwig Göransson winning his second Oscar. I don't think he's 40 before the age of 40. What's even more impressive is 2 Oscars before you're 25, and that's what Billie Eilish is about to do with What Was I Made For from Barbie. This is absolutely the best song in the category. I've listened to all the songs, and don't get me wrong, they're all good, they're all fun, but What Was I Made For? That's one of her best songs. If you're a Billie Eilish fan, then you know that she has plenty of great songs out there, but this one is just perfect. It was in the perfect movie for it. It had a role in the movie. It was placed in a highly impactful scene in the movie, which gains points for me personally, because a lot of other songs that are nominated for Best Original Song, they're just played during the credits. It really gets bonus points for me if a song can contribute toward the themes of a movie, or it is an actual musical piece, like last year with Natu Natu from RRR winning. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas are going to bring home their second Oscars for What Was I Made For. Best Editing, this is going to Oppenheimer, y'all. I mean, how on earth do you make a 3-hour movie feel short? Enough said. It's winning editing right there. Best Director, another easy one. Give Chris Nolan his first Oscar. Much deserved. Should have won it long time ago for Inception. I am thrilled for this guy. He finally is getting his first Oscar, hopefully the first of a couple or a few, and he deserves it. Again, this movie was 3 hours and it felt short. Every aspect of this movie just seemed perfect to me. It is a masterpiece. It's been nominated for a ton of awards, and the director at the end of the day is in charge of bringing all of those elements of a film together into a cohesive thing, and that's what he did. And he did it better than any other director this year. For lead actor, I think that there's an outside chance that Paul Giamatti could win this. I know that many of you probably won't agree with that, but ultimately I do think it's going to go to Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. There was a while where it was a bit more competitive, and I do think that he is definitely going to win. I'd say it's like an 80% chance, but I'm not 100% sure, just because Paul Giamatti is beloved by the Academy. He hasn't won an Oscar. I think he's only been nominated once before, but he is one of those actors that has a lot of respect in the business, and he has won his fair share of awards this award season. But ultimately, I think Cillian Murphy is just undeniable for Oppenheimer, and it's the moment that we live in. Cillian Murphy is the people's choice to win this. I think the Academy is going to award him. He's going to bring home his first Oscar. Lead actress is absolutely more interesting than lead actor. For me, it's a two-horse race between Emma Stone, Lily Gladstone. They've won an even split here. Lily Gladstone brought home the SAG. Emma Stone brought home the BAFTA that Lily Gladstone wasn't even nominated for, which is ridiculous. Both brought home Golden Globes because they were in separate categories. So whoever you say here, I could totally see it, but ultimately, I'm going to go with Emma Stone for Poor Things. Probably the best performance of the year, in my opinion, across, actors, actresses. I think that this is the most daring performance. I think it stretches Emma Stone to places that she's never been before. She's already won an Oscar, so she'll probably win her second one before she's 40 now. I don't know how old she is, but she's definitely not 40, and it's much deserved. Now, don't get me wrong. If Lily Gladstone won, I would certainly be happy, because she is acting in a movie alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, and probably the best performance in the film. But ultimately, I see the Academy giving it to Emma Stone. But again, if Lily Gladstone wins, I'll be happy. She's a fellow Montana kid, so I'm kind of rooting for her. But ultimately, I want it to be won by merit, and Emma Stone was simply the best performance of the year. I think she's going to win. Best Picture isn't even a competition, you guys. It's this movie right here. It's Oppenheimer. Again, same thing that I said with Cillian Murphy. That movie is the moment right now. It is what everyone has been talking about. It's winning many awards on awards night. I predicted it to win several, and who knows, maybe it'll win even more than what I predicted. But it's just simply the best movie of the year, and it's won everything. And that's what makes this award season so hard, is I'm happy with who is sweeping everywhere, but it's been so boring. The closest race that we have right now is lead actress, of like the lead actor categories, the supporting actor categories, direction, picture. It just seems like a clean sweep right now for each of those categories. And I mean, Oppenheimer deserves it, so I'm not that upset, but it is a bit boring. But anyway, those are my predictions for the Academy Awards here this Sunday. What are y'all's predictions? Do you agree with me on some of these categories? Where do you think I got it wrong? Leave me a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe if you like this and you want to see more. Bye, y'all.